For the next couple videos, I'm going to be talking about what an array is. So an array is just a way to let you store multiple values into just one variable. All of the values in an array have to be of the same data type, and the array has to have a fixed number of values. So for example here, we could write some code that has all the grades of a student. So we could have multiple variables for each assignment for the student and what the grade is. So we have student grade assignment 1, they got a 90. Then we have student grade assignment 2, 80, and so on, so on. We have assignment 5, they got a 60. So this is just how we've normally been writing variables. But if we have a list like this, what we can use is, instead of putting a different variable for each grade, we can use an array. So an array sort of looks like this down here. We have student grades, and we have all of the grades in here separated by a comma. So this is how we create a array. We have the data type of the array, so all of the elements of the array have to be of the same data type. Then we have these brackets. Then we have the name of our array, which is going to be student grades. Then we have curly braces, and we have all of the values that we're going to store separated by commas, and this is sort of what it would look like in memory. We have the 90, the 80, the 40.5, the 95, and the 60. And each one of these scores are going to be indexed by a number up here. So the way indexing works is that it's going to always start at 0 and go on. So although we have 5 elements, it's going to index from 0 to 4. So I'm going to kind of explain what we use these indexes for, but basically it's just sort of uniquely identifying each one of these spots. So we start at 0. 0 contains the 90, 1 contains the 80, the 2 slot contains 40.5, the third is 95, and 4 is 60. So this is the way we just did it with the curly braces and commas, but it's very likely that you might not know what all the student grades are right from the beginning of your code or whenever you declare this variable. So it's possible that you don't know what the values are yet, but you still want to make this array variable. So what you can do is declare it as like this and initialize it like this. So instead of actually putting in values, what we're going to do is say the type is still double. We got the brackets. We have student grades equals new double. So we always have to say new and then put in the type. So it should match the same type here. And then we're going to have these brackets, and we're going to need to pass in the size of our array. Remember, I said previously that arrays have a fixed size. So if you say the array is of size 5, you cannot put more than 5 elements in there. So what this line of code is going to do is it's going to allocate some memory. We're going to have these indexes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, but we're not going to have any values in there yet because we don't know what the values are. In order to actually put values into these slots, what we'll have to do is code like this. So when we say the same name of variable, student grades, and we say the index 0, so remember that's the first spot. The first spot starts at index 0. We're going to assign it to 90, and you'll see now we have 90 in this slot. Now if we say student grades 1 and we assign 80, then it'll put 80. Same thing for 2, 40.5, for 3, 95, and for 4, 60. Now we can access these array elements the same way, so we can assign them and we can also retrieve what we put in there. So for example, if we have this string array, we call it sandwich recipe, and we have all of these recipe items within here. So we have bread, we have turkey, we have tomato, and we have lettuce. The first one is bread, but this is actually indexed with 0. This is 1, this is 2, and this is the third index. Well, technically the fourth index because we start at 0, so it would be 0, 1, 2, 3, but there are 4 elements. So if we wanted to print out what the second item in the sandwich recipe array is, we would actually have to get index 1, right? Because the first one is actually indexed with 0, and the second one is indexed with 1. This is just a Java thing. We always start indexing at 0. It is a little weird to think about because whenever we start counting things, we usually want to start with the number 1. but you'll see a lot in coding and in a lot of different coding languages. They always sort of kind of start indexing at 0. There are some languages that start indexing at 1, but just know that Java starts at 0, so you'll always have to go 1 off. So sandwich recipe 1, we're going to do this to get the second one. So this code will actually print out the second item in the sandwich recipe is turkey.